So the New York Jets just got their guy, Robert Saleh. San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator is now the head coach for the New York Jets. He signed a 5-year deal, and he's now tied to the hip to Joe Douglas. We're going to talk about this man and give you a little insight on who he is, where he comes from. Stay tuned. Let's get right into this video. So welcome to Jets Hub. My name is Mike and I'm just a New York Jet fan with an opinion. I'm here to provide you all with the latest news, predictions, and analysis of the New York Jets. So consider subscribing. So man, I honestly did not think Robert Saleh would be a New York Jet just because he's a Detroit native, and it seemed just the perfect pairing to have him go to the Detroit Lions. But that's not the case. The man is a New York Jet now, and I love his philosophy. All gas, no brakes. I'm so excited for this hire, man. You guys don't understand. Look, we're going to start off with Robert Saleh and his coaching experience. The man started coaching back in 2002. He started off his career at Michigan State and worked his way up to the NFL. He finally got his shot in 2005 with the Houston Texans. He spent 6 years with the team and then ended up getting an opportunity with Pete Carroll and his staff with the Seattle Seahawks. After that, he got a shot with Gus Bradley and he headed over to Jacksonville with the Jaguars. So in 2017, Robert Saleh had an opportunity to take on a very daunting task. He ended up following Shanahan as a first-time head coach to the San Francisco 49ers. And that was where Robert Saleh himself took on the opportunity to be the defensive coordinator. All right, the defense at the time was ranked 24th in 2017, and slowly he ended up making that defense into a better unit overall. So in 2018, he was able to improve the defense to a 13th overall ranking. So in 2019, this is where the defense became elite, with John Lynch adding additional pieces such as Ford, Bosa, and other elite talent in Richard Sherman to get guys going with this defensive unit to allow them to become a second overall ranked defense in 2019. With that being said, a lot of people were skeptical about the abilities of Robert Saleh because he had a top ranked defense with a lot of superstars. But what really changed was in 2020, this season, that defense continued to be elite, ranking in the top 5. And with that, he did it with a depleted defense. A lot of the starters for the 49ers themselves were injured throughout the entire season. So for him to continue to have a good unit, regardless who he had, speaks volumes, all right? And Richard Sherman came out himself and he vouched for Robert Saleh, saying that this man is a leader of men. He's everything that you're looking for. He has guys that's second, third string playing hard. That's why the team was as good as it was, even though it was missing a lot of their starters, a lot of their superstars. So for him to come in, establish a defense, a defensive unit that goes hard every play, no matter who is out there starting, speaks volumes, you know? And for him to have a great unit like he did is something that a lot of people took notice.
Well, you got to give Coach Saleh, you got to give Robert Saleh an abundance of credit. You have to give him an unusual amount of credit, and I don't think he's getting enough credit, not only here but in the league in general. You know, to have the injuries that we've had week after week after week, the setbacks week after week. We lose 2 D linemen in the bye week. We don't know. We have uncertainty. We lose backers throughout the week. We got guys who can't practice. Kinlaw barely got to practice on a Friday. You know, it's week after week, and he never makes an excuse.
So how did he get to that point? Well, let's understand that this man understood how to develop a defense. From my understanding and my research, it looks like he established a defense, the base defense, back in 2017. And then 2018, he continuously allowed the defense itself and the schematics involved with it to grow based off his personnel. In reality, you want your players to play fast and not have to think. So to allow them to grow with the system was a great idea. And hopefully he can bring that to our team. And in the next 3 to 4 years, we have a very well established defense and offense. And let's speak about who he has developed. We look at linebackers such as Warner. All right, we talking about Greenlaw. Corners such as Weatherspoon, and safety such as Tart and Ward. These guys on the defensive side has improved over the years, you know? And for him to have developed these guys that were no ones We're talking about third day picks, all right? We're talking about 4th, 5th, 6th round picks that's developing into starters. So that makes me think on what development or how can he develop the players that we already have on the team, let alone the players that we will be bringing in from free agency and players that we will be getting in the draft. So that keeps me kind of interested on seeing how he can develop this team itself, you know? But besides that, who is Robert Saleh? Well, a lot of people already know that he is a high energy type of guy, a type of energy that's very contagious in a positive way, you know? From what I've heard and from what I've seen, a lot of people like to compare him to Pete Carroll. They also say he's an avid chess player, and they try to correlate that to him being a strategic thinker, so he can think on multiple levels. And not only that, they try to say in his interview process, he really presented himself as a very intellectual individual. Alright, so let's dig in a little bit into Robert Saleh's background. Who was he really? Alright, he has a very interesting story. Alright, first off, as we already mentioned, he is a Detroit native. Alright, but he wasn't always into football. Alright, at the time, he had a corporate job. He went into work with a suit and tie, you know, and that's how he made his living. But a tragic event occurred where his brother, also a corporate job that had his brother working in the Twin Towers at the time of 9/11. So this tragic situation ended up giving somewhat of an epiphany to Robert Saleh. At the time, supposedly his father was a person that always dreamed to be a coach, all right? And Saleh himself played back in college and high school, of course, and he always still had that in him. And with his father saying that he always regretted not taking that opportunity, and the tragic events that occurred with his brother just made it a whole different situation to where he took that leap of faith and got away from his corporate job and jumped into coaching. And here's what he had to say about that.
My dad wishes he pursued coaching before he ended up chasing a little bit of money. And I went through my college career, and when I realized that I wasn't going to be a football player at the next level, I just felt like I wanted to stay with it and start coaching, and I didn't initially know how to go about it. And when I got to, back home, you know, all the events of 9/11 and all that stuff, and some epiphanies, I guess you could say, it just kept brewing and brewing until I just couldn't take it anymore.
That's my coach, Robert Saleh. He in the building. New York Jets, man. I'm excited. I'm pumped. Oh, man. I can't wait to see how this culture changed from the Adam Gase era to now the Robert Saleh era, man. There's so much positive stuff going on with him. This vibe that's going on. Everybody's talking about how highly motivated and intelligent and energetic this guy is, man. I hope he's here for the long haul, man. I hope this is the type of coach that we're going to have for the next 10 to 15, 20, 30 years, man. It's going to be great, man, to see how this process goes along and seeing how this team get from point A to point B, and hopefully we can start winning some championships. All right, you guys, let me know what you all think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I appreciate your love and support, man. And as always, go Jets.
You know, I expect him to be a head coach next year because of what he's able to do. You know, he's able to rally men. You know, he's a leader of men, and that goes a long way.
The biggest thing that I've learned from him is the details. Just, you know, making sure that, you know, every guy's doing their job 100% of the time, you know, as good as they can and as fast as they can, as violent as they can. That's all they said. Hey, if we bring that to every week to the game, then, you know, we're going to be the most dominant team. So I know that mentality is definitely going to stick with us. And wherever he do from now, I'm sure he's going to be great at, but he definitely left, you know, a great legacy here. And he definitely got me better in a lot of ways.
He's meant so much to me just from the moment coming out in the draft, the belief he had in me, and has continued to have in me since I stepped on the field with the 49ers. I can't thank him enough, you know, and just riding with me. That guy is an amazing coach, and you know, if he does get the opportunity to go and be a head coach somewhere, I'll be so happy for him, and I know he'll do an amazing job.